If you're anything like me, quarantine has been a great opportunity to exercise, learn, and make good use of your time. Okay, listen, being locked in for this long without seeing many people is both discouraging for productivity and mentally draining. And if you're being a little bit less of an Olympic athlete during quarantine and more of a Matt Stoney, this is probably how your days go. You wake up probably late because what's the point of waking up early anymore? Work through 5-ish hours of poorly adapted online work, and then you do God knows what for the rest of the day until you realize you have homework due at 11:59 p.m. tonight. And if you're an epic introverted gamer like me, this is the life. But you can only live this life of man versus food for so long before you end up living the life of man versus a series of unfortunate heart attacks. So, sick and tired of doing nothing for so long and fearing for the thickness of my blood vessels, I decided to get off my chair and do something productive and exercise. Now, if you were a normal person and you decided you wanted to exercise more regularly every day, you'd probably do something like set up a schedule, maybe search up a couple good routines, but not me. I'm built different. Being that regular exercise or regular working out is kind of boring to me, I decided to give myself a little bit of a challenge. So I decided to work 50,000 steps in one day. Here's that story. Also, I'm not a marathon runner. The average person doesn't walk 50,000 steps a day. I'm sorry, all the cross country kids. I play video games. Okay, let's do the math. I woke up at 7 a.m. for my online classes and I have until midnight to finish the challenge. Assuming that I'm going to be awake and actively moving for the whole 17 hours and walk 50k steps in that time frame, I'd have to be able to walk 2,941 steps an hour, or 49 steps a minute. That's nearly a step a second. So that means I'd have to do a lot of walking, especially during my online meeting and classes. Thankfully, my teachers already assumed I had a screw loose, so they didn't question it much. Pretty much all my time until noon was spent me pacing back and forth in my room during my classes because I obviously couldn't wait that precious step time. And honestly, this part wasn't that bad because it was pretty easy to autopilot the walking. I felt pretty comfortable with my pacing since my step count was about 4k by the end of my first meeting, so maybe 8, 9 a.m. And at this point, I haven't really eaten much, so I decided to have lunch while sitting because I'm not going to make a mess of myself and be dumb. And so after lunch, I decided that I needed a change of scenery, so I set up my tripod and started walking around in my living room in circles. Which worked out pretty fine until I realized, oh wait, I have a treadmill I could use. So yeah, I ended up spending most, if not all of my afternoon there, and the only reason I stopped was because of my iPad died. I spent a lot of time rewatching Love is War. Because I didn't just want to walk in utter silence due to my iPad dying, I decided to go outside and go walk in my local hiking trail. Big mistake. Okay. When you think about walking inside and on a treadmill, you tend to forget how much less energy it took and how much easier it is on your ankles when the ground is even. But you see, on my hike trail, being all California rains once a year for maybe a week, the ground was, best to say, unsavory. Although I was killing my ankles, it was pretty nice to go outside since honestly before quarantine, I haven't really had the time or chance to go outside on the trail in like a pretty long while. But oh my god, the hills on this trail were killing me. Maybe it was just the weather or the fact that I walked 35,000 steps prior to this, but man, my body was not having it. But alas, I hiked the whole trail and almost died on the way back because I was getting way too fatigued and it was getting a little spooky outside. Now, at this point, I was about 8k steps away from finishing the challenge, and like I said, my gamer body was in pain. It was around 8:30 once I got home and finished eating and changing, I hit the treadmill again and realized how much I took walking on flat, smooth ground for granted. But in all honesty, this end part really wasn't that bad. I'm assuming my legs just got used to pain and just numbed it out or something like that because the final stretch, it was pretty chill. It got kind of close though. It got down to like the last hour and I still had 3k steps to go, but I still managed to finish with time to spare. So here it is for my fitness app. Whoa, where does it go? Whoa, I'm really going to hate myself for editing this. Here you go. Okay. I honestly feel like this was a good test of endurance and willpower that I needed at the time. And look, I even overachieved with one extra step. Overall, what I learned from this was a valuable lesson. Spite can make you do anything. But in all seriousness, I think doing a challenge or something like this was a really good test of willpower. It helped me prove to myself that if I really wanted to do something that was physically taxing or boring, that I could still do it despite all of that if I put my mind to it. Obviously, you wouldn't have to do something this extreme or stupid, but it's all about that limit testing, baby. Woo! Now, I do realize Markiplier did a similar challenge doing 100,000 steps in a day, which was arguably more entertaining than this video was. But I honestly didn't see the video until after I did this challenge and started writing the script for this video. So if you guys still want to check it out, it's a similar idea, funnier guy. You should watch the video. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I don't know why you would watch a video of me talking about how I walked a lot. Like, it's 50,000 steps probably isn't that hard for most people, but I'm glad you're here. Subscribe if you like my content and other weird lifestyle videos. Is this a lifestyle video? I don't know if this is a lifestyle video. If you like lifestyle productivity videos, you should follow me. What are people gonna think when they come to this channel and just see this video?